appreciate the press being here today and our dignitaries here with us. I want to introduce Assemblyman Ray Walter, who's been a great supporter of Summit. Thanks for being here today, Ray. I'm going to make some comments as a professional in the field, but the real experts are on my right and left here, and they're going to talk a little bit about their experiences. But let me talk about what's happening in the field just for about 4 minutes here. 1 in 68 are the new numbers. A child with autism may be diagnosed 1 in 68. That's incredible. 1 in 42 if you're a boy. This is a public health crisis. If you don't know somebody with autism now, you're going to know somebody with autism very soon. A lot of people in this world. Experts agree that we can make the best therapeutic progress if we start early and we use the right methods and the proper dosage. But most children are not diagnosed with autism until about age 4 or even a little bit later. Why is that? Because there are no obvious biological markers for kids. You can't look at them and say they're autistic. It takes a skilled professional, like the folks at Summit, who do a diagnostic workup using interview and direct observation of the child. And it's very difficult to perform that at those very young ages. It's not until about 18, 24, 30 months that those behaviors present themselves in a way that we can do an accurate diagnosis. But what I wanted to say today, there are some promising new developments in the area of early diagnosis. Several researchers are looking at gene-based tests that might show some promise. Research suggests that autism in part may be a result of a broad array of genetic differences that increase or decrease the risk of autism. Genetic differences occur a lot in kids, and most are harmless, but there are some that can increase susceptibility to developmental concerns like autism. One study looked at kids who are of high risk of getting autism, kids who are a sibling of a child already with autism, and they were able to show some genetic differences early, and if they can identify those genetic differences early, we may be able to predict whether that individual also will have autism, and then we can start early. Other researchers have examined eye gaze and delayed eye gaze as shifting as a marker of autism. Infants who are later diagnosed with autism take longer to shift their gaze between images than infants who do not develop normally. This inability to shift gaze may be an early predictor of social and cognitive deficits. So again, why is this important to us? Why is it important to the people here today in our community? The first 3 years of life are critical to any child's development, but they're particularly critical to a child with autism. It's in those first 3 years that the brain is most malleable and they're most responsive to intervention. It's not impossible to achieve success after the age of 3, but it's just a little bit harder, and we miss such a great opportunity to make a big difference. Failure to act early and effectively will have lifetime consequences for the child, the family, and our community. I hope for a day that we will conduct a universal screening in pediatricians' office and hospitals that will lead to early diagnosis of autism and eventually to a universal protocol for intervention. Here at Summit, we strive to contribute to this growing research space, leading to better diagnosis, improved intervention, but we also serve more than 1,500 individuals already affected by the disorder or related conditions. This includes individuals that are aging out of the education system and into adult lives where services are very few and far between. I'm so pleased that all of you are here today and will help us make awareness of autism and communicate to our community the importance of agencies like Summit and how we can help people with autism and their families.